tonight. Can you hear our children crying? They're calling from all over this land. They're glaring at today's page. Is your Australia fair? Is your Australia fair? So come on! Come rise and shine the rising. Come help us all to cause. Come join your children singing. Let's advance Australia fair. It's time to advance Australia fair. Come rise and join the rising. Come help us all to cause. Come join your children singing. Let's advance Australia fair. It's time to advance Australia fair.
Okay, let's get cracking. We have Jason here from. G'day, Jason. How you doing?
Good, Michael. How are you?
Now, what's behind you?
The mighty Palmer River in Cape York.
Wow, look at it. So
No
chances
green
are
screen.
that's full of crocodiles and stuff.
That's got there's a salty over the other side. So where I'm sitting here at the minute, Michael, this is actually my roadway out. I'm cut off. I can't get to the roadhouse to pick my mail up or anything. I'm cut off at the minute. So
Wow.
that's where I go across there. So there is some salties in there, and there's definitely some freshies. So you need to tell me if something's looking at me behind me. Hey,
That's what I'm going to say. I'm just looking up here. I'm just trying to see if I can. I'm just going to quickly share a screen just so people can see where you are. So it's somewhere here. I'll just make it big screen so we can have just a quick look. Somewhere in our Facebook.
this is what I've got to do to build the roads.
So they're building this road with crocodiles
Yeah,
in the
so
water.
I'm digging all the mud out here and then building it up with sand and rock so I can drive across to get out.
So what I'm saying though is not only you building the road, but in the water is saltwater crocodiles that can eat you.
No, there is some salties, mainly freshies though, but they won't get me in the excavator.
I'm just going to watch the end of it. It's only a few minutes long, just keep it going. Wow, man. God, that's wild, man. That is just wild. Another river. That's great, man. That's I love the cat. I love the
Yeah,
cat.
Louis, he comes everywhere with me. He's my little mate. You wouldn't think someone would have a little rag doll up here, but very loyal.
So tell us, I'll just get some light on here. Tell us, what are you doing up there? Because, and we'll get into the
I've
story.
been I've been for 7 years trying to start mining, and we only started mining a couple of years ago. It takes a long, long time to get all the approvals through and the pegging and the native title, working with the government. It takes a long, long time. And I've earned no money in those 7 years. I'm not on the dole. I'm not on no benefits. It's money that I had saved and yeah, just working on it. So last year was our first year of sort of production, and yeah, it's hopefully I can make some money out of it if I don't get shot and killed first.
Well, let's talk about this. So the first off is, let's talk about being shot at. This is extraordinary. So you're there. Basically, there's a mining lease for gold, and you're working that lease. Is that correct?
I wasn't working at the minute. All the machinery's pulled up, but I was at camp. So we've got a mine lease. So when you've got a lease, you set up camp, and there's no, you got to create your own septic systems, your own plumbing, your own everything.
Yeah.
It's full off grid. There's no power connections. You got to set your own solar up generators. So I was at the camp, and I was mucking around, just doing your thing, and I heard a gunshot go off. And quite often there's shooters and stuff around, but it was on camp. It was right beside the camp. So I screamed out, and you can hear for miles out here. I screamed out. I said, "Oi, you're on a mine camp!" And then I heard another shot, and I
Holy
thought, "Gee
shit.
whiz, that's really close." So I went to the vehicle, a four-wheel drive, and I tooted the horn. And I said, "Oi, you're on a mine lease." All of a sudden, I seen the smoke, and I seen a tree, the branch come off a tree, and the bullets were coming towards me. Bang, hit the deck, and I went up behind a shipping container, and I'm completely surrounded by bush. And when I say bush, this is 146,000 hectare property in Cape York. I'm
Yeah.
surrounded by bush, and I didn't know who it was, what it was, but I knew that they'd shot at me. I rang 000, and that was probably the worst thing that you could ever experience, because they would not accept the fact that I didn't live in a house with a number and what street do you live in. It took ages, and it was pointless.
That percent, you said that they didn't even record your
Well, I
phone
don't
call.
know. The ABC somehow, there was a reporter that worked for Channel 7, Sophie, and she's moved across to the ABC. I don't know where. And she contacted me and said, "I heard something about a shooting up your way." And I said, "Yeah, at me." And she goes, "Oh, okay, I'll give her some information." And she must have got onto something, Freedom of Information, or I don't know what they do. And she got back to me and said, "Are you sure that it was on the 27th January 2025? And I said, "Yeah." I said, "ML 100 109. And she goes, "The police are saying there's no 000 call." So I sent her videos and said, "Well, here's the police. Here's someone that was here. Here's dead horse. Here's all the walking tracks in."
Oh, just wait. Give me a second to come back.
You back?
Yeah, you're back. I don't know which one of us froze. So we got up into where she was calling to saying there was no police record of you calling.
Yeah, she said, "I can't get anything off the police. They're saying it didn't happen." So I sent her photos of the police here.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Now, did you see who was shooting at you?
I could only see the smoke from the fire of the gun, and it was 200 yards from me.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
it was just boom, 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 4 times.
God damn. And who? The other thing I want to talk about is, you said, so this is a horse that's been shot in the belly.
Yeah, that's Bungie. It's a wild Brumby, but I've got wild Brumbies that come into camp,
Yeah.
and that was one of the friendly Brumbies that for about 2 years. Comes into camp,
It
and I
actually
talk to
into
him.
camp.
Yeah, comes into camp, and I'll walk around camp, and Bungie would follow me, and that's why I got
Wow.
Bungie, because I'd walk away from Bungie, and Bungie would follow me. I'd stop, turn around, and Bungie would be a meter or so just behind me, and that's why I called it Bungie, because it was like it was on a bungee.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And so you say people are shooting him, but they shot him in the belly to leave him to die
Yeah,
slowly.
Bungie had a foal. It was a her, and the foal's dead also. The foal was at foot. So what some of these poachers do, we've got poachers that are poaching for gold, and then we've got people that come on shooting that aren't meant to be here as well. And what these people, what they do is they shoot cows, bulls, and horses, and then then those animals bolt, and they shoot them in the gut, so they're in pain. And when they're in pain, they make cries for help, obviously, and that attracts pigs and dingoes. And then the shooters or the poachers will come back because the horses made a lot of sound and attracted them, and then they'll shoot the pigs for the tusks and the head, the boars.
Wow. So they just use the horse's bait. Wow.
Yep,
Wow,
yep,
that's really sad. So how often is this happening? I mean, are you
all the
surrounded by
time,
these people?
all the time. But I've never been shot at. Normally, if there's a shooter out there, even if they're poachers and they're not meant to be there, when you yell out, they normally go, oh, fuck, and they'll come up and you go, mate, you shouldn't be here. Hey, do you want a cup of tea? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And then you escort them off the property, and that's it. I've never been fired upon. 9 times out of 10, you're able to approach these people, and they've all got guns. There could be 4 or 5 of them. They're all fully armed. Some of them have got military grade weapons that are illegal, scopes that can see at night and distances with magnetic vision and all sorts of funny stuff. And
Ah,
I've never been shot at, but I have been threatened and humiliated a lot. But 9 times out of
in
10,
what
I get
way?
on the
Talk
two-way.
about that. To what how why would they do that? Why do they humiliate you? What's the point?
Well, they're trying to pretend that someone said that they're allowed here.
Oh, I see. I see.
They're
Yeah.
they're putting the yeah, and I just say, well, listen, you might be allowed there, but I don't know, but you're not allowed here. And they're going, oh yeah, and you say, who do you know? And they start naming names that you've never heard of, and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. And
Do
my
you
neighbour, often we communicate on the two-way or on the now I've got Starlink, it's really easy, and we'll
Yeah.
communicate and we'll meet in the middle, and we catch these people sometimes. We
Oh,
take
wow.
photos, we give it to the police or the stock squad. Nothing ever eventuates. But yeah, this time they didn't identify themselves, and yeah, I had 4 bullets heading straight at me head.
How does that feel? I mean, once the shooting stopped, how long did you stay there waiting to hear if he was gonna come in and finish you off?
Well, I after being yeah, spun out talking to 000, trying to tell them that it's helicopter only. As you can see, you can't
Yeah.
really drive on the roads. They said, oh, no, we don't send helicopter. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I give them the coordinates. We're on a mine lease. We pay a lot of money per lease a year to have helicopter access, And so what ended up eventuating was they sent police, and it took them 3 hours, and I organised a neighbour to go to the front gate up on the Mulligan Highway to bring them in about 25 k's, and they had to cross 3 big rivers,
Wow.
and their cars weren't set up for it. They got swamped, they got water in their cars, and I don't think they were impressed when they got here. But I did say, don't come in cars.
Yeah. There's now do you think that the shooting could be done that the price of gold is so high now that basically, you know what I mean? I mean, the gold is going through the roof.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether these guys had metal detectors and guns. A lot of the detector is because they're poaching, they take guns with them because they think that everything's going to attack them in the bush. It's a bit like tourists when they come over here. They're wearing hair nets and they're walking around in a bloody in a full thinking that everything that lands on them is going to bite them and kill them. But I think some of these poachers are the same. They're coming in with military grade weapons and they're poaching, looking for a little piece of gold that might be worth sort of $30 and it's cost them $500 to get here, and they're poaching, and they've got a $3,000 rifle, a $5,000 scope, a $10,000 metal detector. When they work it out, they ain't going to make any money, and they're just giving us the shits and being a pest, really.
What attracts you to being up there, though? I mean, it
I
looks
love the serenity. I love
wild
the
country.
peace. I've lived in cities. I've lived in Melbourne. I've lived in Cairns. I've travelled all around. I was a bit of a rooster in my day, but I was born in the bush and I'm back in the bush. So
Okay, but there's bush and bush. That country is different from, say, down in Ceduna or something like this. I mean,
yeah,
there's so much life there. Every insect is 3 times bigger than any insect down here. You know what I mean? It's incredible. And the river, there's things in the river that can eat you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's yeah. So how do you deal with that? Like even dealing with the crocodiles and all these other creepy crawlies, which would terrify suburbanites.
It's worse trying to cross the road in the city. I mean, you can go to Melbourne and get shot at with rubber bullets. I only get shot with real ones out here.
That's the truth. Only if you're a grandmother. They like the slow moving targets.
Where are we? Are we in
Yeah.
Australia anymore?
Well,
Is Australia
you're
broken?
definitely in Australia. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't get more Australian than that. It's just quite extraordinary. And does that river dry out during the
Yeah,
dry,
yeah.
or
Normally I drive across it. This is actually a mine lease, and this is a road straight through here. You can see the gap. That goes
yeah?
over to the other side. It's about 300 meters long.
So it's actually that. So I don't think people around the world realize, but the rivers actually dry out completely, and
Yeah,
so
no water
and
at
then
all.
turn to this.
Last
Yeah.
year, where I'm sitting, I was up here during Cyclone Jasper, and this river here went to its peak that it's never peaked before. I had a meter of rain in around about 40 minutes at 10 o'clock at night.
I'm just deleting a comment someone wants me to delete. Someone's saying delete the comment. I'm doing that, guys. Yeah. Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I just had to deal with that. What was that last thing you said? Sorry to miss you here.
I had a meter of rain in
A meter
about
of
half an
rain.
hour at 10 o'clock at night, 40 minutes. And so, yeah, the river's shot up, I don't know, 8 to sort of 12, 14 meters. And I actually had someone that knew me at the ABC in Cairns, and they texted me when I had the old Thuraya satellite system. And I said, I know that Bomb's not going to tell you this, but this river is full. There's nowhere for the water to go. It's going to go into the Mitchell, it's going to go into the Barron, and it's going to land between Cairns and Port Douglas. And they said, oh, no, the experts are saying it's going to do this, that, and the other. 2 days later, there's houses floating all over the place between Cairns and Port Douglas. Didn't listen.
Well,
I mean, we live up
what?
here, we work up here, we know what it is. And then
Yeah.
someone rang back from the ABC and said, did you send this message about half an hour ago? I said, no, 2 days ago.
What are you living in though? You're not living in a house.
I
You've got
live
a
in a
caravan.
van, so we've got a camp here. There's a humpy on site, but I've lived in a caravan, my little Forbes 12, for about 5 years now.
Wow.
I love it because I shift around. I don't not the same spot all the time, you know.
Oh, I see. So you don't have a. You can actually, because it's so big, you can move around. And how are you panning for
Well,
gold? What are you doing? Looking?
no,
Is
no,
it
no.
just
I'm not
metal
panning.
detector?
We've got large machines that do about 60 ton an hour.
Wow.
we're just in the process of looking for a truck. I got a business partner, Kevin. He's more all that side. I'm more the hands-on mechanical, the actual physical mining, and I was in
Yeah.
road construction, farming, and I've done a bit of everything. I've been underground mining, so I'm the miner, and he's more of the money.
Yeah.
He lives in a nice high-rise in the Gold Coast, and he's really shitty because he's got to pay a view tax now. Can you believe that? A view tax. Are we in
A view
Australia?
tax.
A view tax to live in the Gold Coast. They're paying a tax because they've got a view out their window. I mean, where are we anymore?
Well,
Who are
it's
these people
like a
in these
breathing
offices?
tax next. There'll be a tax on breathing. Yeah,
I
I'm sorry.
remember on
I'm
the
sorry,
farm.
Jason. You haven't you're gonna have to hold your breath for 20 minutes. You haven't
I know,
breathing. You
I
haven't
know.
made your
When
breathing.
on the farm, I remember when I was doing my farm apprenticeship, the water board come out, and I was milking cows back then, and I was only about, oh, I don't know, 14 or something. I left school in year 8. I give them the toss, and I was milking. I was pulling tits, and the water board come out, and they wanted to put a meter on the bore that the farmer owned. The bloke that I was doing the apprenticeship with, he owned the bore and the irrigator and everything. They said, we're just going to put a meter on. We're not going to charge you. 2 years later, I was charging from rain that fell from the sky in his dam and the bore that he was pumping out to irrigate, and they were supplying nothing, and they charged him a service fee. And that's where we've gone from there. And as you say, we'll be paying to breathe soon. So I'm happy I'm out here, but I'm not happy to be getting shot at, you know?
There's when you do the shooting is just incredible. I mean, this is Wild West shit. This is why I got you on. But when you're picking up the gold, the 60 tons an hour or something, how much gold are you producing from that?
Well, it varies in the area. So what happens is when all these creeks go dry, when the creeks go dry, then we just wait for the water to subside a bit more through the sand, because there could be some spots there could be like 4 or 5 meters of sand, some spots there could be a foot.
Yeah.
So we go through that, and then we dig that up and we stockpile it, and then we put it through the plant, and you might get an ounce a day, 2 ounces a day, 6 ounces a day. You just never know what you're going to get. But gold being as high as it is now, we've got a lot of people that are buying metal detectors and coming up here and poaching. And last year was the worst year for fires. So I attended, I don't know how many fires I attend with my big machinery to cut fire breaks, because the government doesn't have fire trucks or machinery up here. They just turn up with a ute with a computer in the back and flashing lights, and they wear medals and tell you they're the boss, and we just tell them to get stuffed. And so I cut fire breaks, and then we've all got little units and our own fire trucks, and then we backburn into the fire. And some of these fire breaks are 6 kilometers long, and then
Wow.
we burn back off those breaks, and then we come back the next day, cut the trees down that might fall back over the break, and then we just monitor it for days after. So most of the fires up here are the biggest fires in Australia, and they never make the news because it's not affecting the people where the newspapers are printed, and the television studios aren't getting covered in smoke or holding traffic up.
Yeah, because the bush, when you're driving through it, the bush isn't like tropical rainforest. It's more dry scrub, is it?
This time of year, it's tropical rainforest, and as soon as it dries up, it's 40 degrees and crisp as crisp. So vehicles with catalytic converters, this is what gives me the shits. All these modern cars with all these catalytic converters that heat up to like, I think it's, I don't know, 15 or 1600 degrees, they do a burn for some pollution bullshit. And when they go through the grass, that ignites the grass. They drive away and they fucking light us up, and then we're in bushfire again. And most of these vehicles are government vehicles with this shit, and they just say, "Oh no, well, couldn't have been us." And we're like, "Well, mate, you're the only one in the area."
Wow. Wow.
You know, and we've got to deal with this shit constantly. And these government charlatans, honestly, they think that we're behind the 8 ball, but there's all these apps where, since Starlink's come along, they got nowhere to run. We got them by the short and curlies, because we've got flight radar, we've got all the things the city people have got. But we've also got, we know when someone's gone down a track. We can tell. We're not. It's different now with the Starlink. These people can't lie to us anymore and tell us that they're above us.
Now, you left school at year 8, like you just said.
Yep.
And I know you're on our team, so you decided not to take the juice. So
No,
how come you decided not to take it? You've had a year 8 education, so I'm only year 10, so we're supposed to be the dumbasses, and yet neither of us took it. Why didn't you take it?
Well, I actually I done a few things. I was in sports medicine for a while. I
Okay.
used to be a footy trainer, so I knew that for a respiratory infection you don't get a needle. That was my
Yeah.
first thing, and then I went, this none of this makes sense. Wearing a mask is not going to protect you. And now I was like, I was in Cairns at this time, and I'm like, this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. These people are falling. They're falling, falling, falling. This is gonna. This There's something behind this, and I never took it. I lost a few friends straight away because I didn't take it. They said, "Oh, you're going to kill everyone," and I said, "Well, each to your own. I didn't tell you to buy a red car. I don't want you to tell me what to put in my body." So
Yeah.
yeah, I lost a few friends. I lost a mate the other day. He died. He was a mate from Melbourne. When I was down there, he come up to Cairns and he was working, and yeah, we lost poor old Dino the other day. But
Was
yeah,
was he the
he was
one that
fully
you said
boosted.
had stomach cancer?
No, 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 no. He was fine like that, but he got the rattles straight away after it, and he couldn't keep his. He just lost mobility and went downhill, like super downhill, real quick. So
Wow, how old was he?
he was in his 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, there's tons of that. No, I had someone approach me the other day. Can't remember who it was. We get approached by so many. And he said his friend went to the hospital and he was fine. He went back and he was 2 weeks later and he had stage 4 stomach cancer in 2 weeks and just gone. And no one talks about it. It's like it's normal, but it's not normal. Cancer is a saga usually that goes on for a couple of years. You know what I mean? But yeah, times are different now. But up
Yeah.
there though, it's hard to feel that any of what the shit that's going down here could even reach you up there.
Well, I've got all the
That's
bullshit meters turned off on my phone, so I've got the cyclone warning bullshit and the this bullshit and that bullshit and every other bit of bullshit. I That's all turned off. But I got a thing the other day to say someone had malaria close by. Be careful, and I'm on 146,000 hectare property. And then I had another bullshit thing come through the other day. Don't step any mud because there's some disease in the mud. And I'm thinking, how are these? How? And that come through a hospital text that I normally have for a clinic in Laura. And I'm like, I just got onto the Laura clinic yesterday, and I said, "Oh, what's all this shit?" And she goes, "Don't know. Everyone got it. And when do you want an appointment?" I said, "I'm locked in. I'm behind a wall of water at the minute. We'll make an appointment for whenever I get out." And she said, "Right, look forward to seeing you." I said, "Cheers, hooroo."
so so there's something in the mud. So they don't want you to step in mud there.
Well, no idea. It doesn't make sense. It's just, I try and turn all the government bullshit off, and it still gets to you. Hey, out in the middle of nowhere here.
So it's all fear. Just
It
fear.
is. And
And yet
I know
literally
people that don't, I know people read this shooting that I've contacted, and because it wasn't on Sunrise on Channel 7, they're going, "Oh, it mustn't have been that bad then." Because they only think bad things come up on 7 and 9 and 10 and ABC. And I'm like, most of the things you're watching on there is a month old, eh? I said,
Yeah,
they go
yeah.
and stand in front of a police station and go, "There's been a car theft." I mean, there's 80 or 90 car thefts a week in Cairns,
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard
you
that.
know?
I've heard that. I also heard that Cairns was had a great group that stood up when we were down here and everyone was compliant. We did hear stories that a lot of people in Cairns weren't. That it
Yeah,
was much more easy going.
I was out and about, me and a few mates. I was actually in the first protest. Well, it wasn't a protest, it was a gathering in Cairns. And Michael Healy, the local member, was actually on Channel 7. And I've been on Channel 7 before and interviewed about things like that. And all the news were there, was on the radio. There was all the tourist operators, buses, and all the boat people that take people to the reef, and the tour operators that we all done parades around town, Aussie flags on our cars, reopen, you're going to kill the town. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, more fear porn come in from Channel 7 and stuff. They never attended another rally. I lost all my mates when they seen me march that I knew. They all thought that I was mental. And now they're all getting crook, laying in bed, can't get out to work. their IQ level, I think, has dropped dramatically. And I think I've changed. I think I'm the same as what I was, if not better, other than a few close shaves with bullets.
Yeah, look, I have to say the same. I'm actually healthier now than I think I've ever been. It's,
Me too.
yeah, and it's really extraordinary. And we're supposed to be dead. I mean, we're supposed to be long
Well,
dead.
I
We're
was
actually
supposed to kill
walking around
everyone.
evidence that something's wrong. What's that?
Yeah, apparently I was going to kill everyone because I didn't get the thing. I used to walk through the supermarket and make the booping sound. I never loaded that stupid app. They're not putting apps on my phone. I don't even do internet banking. They can get stuff.
It's an extraordinary thing though that here we are at this time where the people who had the courage are seen as bad. They're seen as there's something wrong with us, as though we're mental, and yet we're healthy. We're not sick. We don't have myocarditis. We don't have any of these other things, and we're still plugging away, and we're still trying to
Yep.
sort of warn people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Well,
that does my head in.
I, I, I can see people getting sillier and well, not sillier. They're just simple things like changing a car tire to people now is foreign language. You know, people have become, I don't know what it is. It's like I'm not in Australia anymore. When I grew up in the bush and everyone helped everyone. And no matter how hard it was, how much it cost you, you'd done your best. And if someone was in strife, you'd take them in, you'd feed them, someone died, everyone would go there that day and they'd go and see the family and take food and fill their fridge and not let them breathe for 2 seconds so that they were always around people, And nowadays, that'd be a full-time job with the amount of people that are dropping.
Yeah.
It's I just don't understand it. And people haven't woken up. They used to go to 2 funerals a year. Now they're going to 10.
I know. I know. We have someone approached us the other day. Most of his family has died, and we're hoping they'll come on and talk. It's extraordinary time. But just look, we're sitting down here. Like I'm in Melbourne at the moment, and we have manicured bicycle paths, and everybody has a dog that's a pedigree, usually tiny, covered in paraphernalia, all this stuff. What is a day like for you up there? Like, just take us through. What time do you get up, and what does the day involve living up there by yourself next to that river?
Well, like those people in Melbourne, I wake up and give me Pussy a scratch, me little cat, and then it starts. Hey, like you got to give your Pussy a scratch first thing in the morning. I do that every morning. And then I give him a bit of a feed, and then I go out and make brekkie, just like everyone else. But the thing is, I got to generate my own power and empty my own seppos, and yeah, it's peaceful, and I don't think I'd have it any other way. People say, "How haven't you lived in a house for 5 years?" I said, "With pleasure. I'm stress free. I'm more healthier than I've ever been. I owe no one nothing. I can get up every day, do what I want. The biggest bill I've got, Starlink, $200 a month, and that's
Yeah.
it."
Yeah. That's what we pay too to have ours. But what are the things that you see up there though that we don't see here? You know what I mean? You've got brumbies that come into
No
camp.
dickheads.
But what are some of the extraordinary? Do you see the wild pigs come in? You see,
Yep.
crocodiles is a big one because people just can't conceive that you're actually living around this prehistoric animal that could have you for lunch. How often do you come across those?
Not often. I was driving home the other night from a mine camp. I went and seen another guy that's about 7 k's from me on another mine site. And on my way home, in between this creek on a road, this river on a road, and a small dam on another mine camp, there was a croc on the track. And I had to get out and get a stick and give him a couple of whacks. It wouldn't move off the track, and then I was able to drive through. That's kind of common up here, but they don't really attack you. So I've always said TV's bullshit,
What
and it is.
happens when you hit a crocodile with a stick? I've never heard that.
They normally run away.
Oh, really? So they don't actually go F you.
Well, it wouldn't move with the car. I tooted the horn and it just looked at me, and they're very slow. And so I just banged it out with a stick and it went back into the dam.
How big is it?
Oh, it was probably about 4 meters.
For me.
but it's a fresh crocodile. It's
Oh,
not going to eat you.
yeah, it's a freshie. Okay, yeah.
If it was
Okay,
a
for those,
salty, there's no way I would have touched it.
let's explain to those watching in with horror from around the world. What's the difference between a salty and a freshie?
Well, a salty will generally eat you, and a freshie will run away from you.
So
There's heaps of young freshies. There was one sitting right in front of the where I'm camped, and it was only about, I don't know, a couple of feet long, and it was just sunbaking. So this time of year, the freshies go upstream, and I don't know where they go when the river dries up, but that's just what happens. So you see a lot of crocs this time of year.
okay, but the freshies have to tell them apart. They have narrow snouts,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
and the
narrow, long
salties have the
snouts,
broad heads.
and the salties have buff heads.
It's actually. I'm just wondering how many people are watching, thinking, "Gee, I'd love a bit of adventure in my life." You know what I mean? Because look at the difference there. You're sitting up there, you got the wild river behind you, wild nature's all around you. You're even getting shot at. We're down here. I know you watch people going to work in this hamster wheel. They're all racing. It's all back down, same as before, same as before, and basically to pay off bricked up air on their house, which they're spending most of that, the good third of their life doing, to pay off bricked off air. And it's really interesting to know that there's other ways to completely live in this country. I mean, surely I know you're saying you're having trouble with the government, but you can't live there like a sheep, can you? You have to be self-reliant, surely, to be where you are.
Well, I go shopping 4 times a year, just for my big shop, and I've got enough food on hand all the time for 3 months.
So four
The
times
only
a
thing
year
that,
you go shopping.
yeah,
Okay, tell us what you buy with 4 times a year. So you got freezers there?
yeah, no, just a 95 litre Dometic fridge freezer and a couple of little other 12-volt fridges. That's enough. I don't buy all the shit food. I just buy the basics, flour and yeah, I don't drink much sugar. The only sugar I have is the Bundaberg soft drink. Yeah, I don't buy much. I just buy the basics. I buy I buy chicken and meat and stuff like that. I find organic shops and stuff like that, and I buy a lot of it. And I just shatter pack it into really small portions and freeze it down. It's no big deal. I don't go to the supermarket every day, and I don't buy shit. But in between, if I want to treat myself, I'll go into the local roadhouse or the local store, which takes about a half, 2 hours to turn around, and I'll buy some milk and bread. So, for instance, a couple of litres of milk and 2 loaves of bread cost me $23
Wow. That's
at
from
the
a
local,
roadhouse.
yeah, the local shop in Lakeland. Yeah, if I go there or go to Laura, yeah,
$24. Hmm.
$23 for 2 loaves of bread, $6.50 each, and yeah, $10 or so for the milk.
$10. God. So, but how do you ever like do fishing or hunting yourself there? You don't have a
No,
gun,
I'm
do
pretty
you?
much. Yeah, I'm not much into fishing, to be honest. I see a lot of heaps of people ask me about fishing and stuff. I'm not really into fishing. I come up here to gold mine,
Yeah.
and I pretty much just do that. It's maintenance this time of year, fixing stuff, changing rollers on tracks, fixing hydraulic rams, redoing cutting edges, welding up buckets, just site stuff. Putting ventilation in containers, building new implements, fixing up. We've got a new trommel that was built
What's a
in
trommel?
China. I sent, yeah, there's a YouTube from the company that made it. I sent to you there, Michael, and it's a massive big machine that you load the sand or the gravel into, and then it goes through water and it turns it so it breaks the gold up off all the bits and pieces, and it's made of mesh, and the gold falls through the mesh, and then it goes down to a sluice, and the gold sinks in the vortex and gets caught in the mat and the steel riffles, and then the gravel and the sand float out because the gold's heavier, and then that gets caught, and then you clean out the mats and hopefully with your fingers crossed, you haven't wasted too much diesel that day, and you've covered your diesel, you've covered your. It's not $1 million business. Everyone thinks you're a gold miner, you must be rich. No, it's just a way to keep going.
So, okay, well, that's a really conversation to have. So you literally actually, unless you got extraordinary lucky, you're just basically a wage, really.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've got to cover your diesel. Remember, diesel at some stages, by the time you get it back to site and put it in the machine, it probably costs you about $3.20, $3.50. By the time you carry it back here and do what you've got to do. So you've got to turn that diesel and the thousands, like the machinery, some of the machineries, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars for each machine. And you've got
Wow.
to turn that into money so that you can maintain the machine and upgrade the machine as it wears out. So
Yeah.
it is a business. It is a business. And I don't own the actual lease. So Kevin, my business partner, owns the lease, and I'm the miner. So it's no different to say the local Mitre 10. Someone owns the building, and he's an
Yeah.
old retired fella. And then the person that rents the shop, he is the guy that runs the building,
Yeah.
that
And and
does the
and
business.
and how do you split it like 50-50 because he owns this and that? And it's just
Well, we
so.
just started processing, so we haven't sold. We actually haven't sold any gold yet.
Oh, wow.
So we had no need to. So it's taken 7 years to get where we've got to, and last year was really
Extraordinary.
our first year of processing just at the end of the season, because of all the
Why is it
government.
taking 7 years? Why is it
Because
taking so
what
long?
what happens first is you've got to go and, unless you buy a lease, what you've got to do is peg a lease. So you go out and you put an application into the to a department like the mining department. They always change their names every time someone's getting elected, so it's the resources something now. And so you'll go and peg a lease. And to do that, you've got to get approval and go through all the stuff. So we use a company called Amitz, and they've got about 5,000 miners on their books. And they're Australia-wide. They're a big company. So they're our mediators or tenement people. And they do the paperwork and stuff. And it's really expensive, hey, to go through with this. So once you've
Wow.
pegged it, then you've got to go through native title. So then we have to go through the Western Yalanji Aboriginal Corporation. Once they come and do a walkover, and you've got to give them 4 to 10 to 20 grand to come and walk over. And there's nothing to see. These creeks flood every year. There's no historical significance in them whatsoever,
Yeah.
because they flood, and there's trees come. If it really starts raining in up here shortly, some of these big trees snap off, and they just go floating down the river at 20 k's an hour.
Yeah.
So there's no really historical significance in the creeks, but anyway, it's just what we do. So we've got to do that. And then there'll be a landholder or another community like the Gummijunga Aboriginal Corporation. We deal with them, and then they've got to approve it. And then you go back to the government. Then you go to land court. It
God.
takes forever, and that's why things don't move fast. So, and people go, "Oh yeah, these dirty miners," but let's be honest. The gold, most percentage of the gold that's mined in Australia is very high quality, and up here is 97%. It's really, really nice quality gold. It's not going into 2-bob watches. It's going into electrical components like fast computers and our phone systems and Starlink up above us. They need purity in silver, gold, copper, nickel, and that's what they need for these components to make these supercomputers and for the luxuries we have today. You would not have an electric car without miners, and people that think that electric cars just turn up in the garage and then they catch on fire, they've only got one part of that right, the second bit.
Yeah. It's extraordinary, yeah, to actually think this is where it is. Even
This
like
is
my
the
phone
start.
here. The only reason
Yep,
I've
it's
got
got
my
gold in it.
phone is that there's people digging gold out here in the middle of nowhere. But what a
Yep,
rigmarole, 7 years. I mean,
that's
most people would
that's
have
for
gone,
one lease. That's for one lease. We've got a couple of
wow.
leases, so we've pegged more leases now because it takes so long. And the
Yeah.
government's saying that we've got some critical minerals thing going on at the minute because we need more miners for silver and tungsten and all these things to make these computers and make the world spin around with all the luxuries that everyone wants in the city, but they're not helping us by carving, red tape, green tape, you name it, it's there. I don't know what to do. It's like I'm not in Australia anymore. Every time you say, I call it the email cyclone. So in Canberra, all that happens is emails are in this cyclone, and one day they just blow away and no one worries about it anymore. Because you never get a response. All you get is, thank you, we note your thing. Unfortunately, that's not our department. Next. It's the email cyclone. And guess what? Every Christmas, when none of those people in the bloody swamp are there, Australia keeps spinning, eh? So what do they do?
That's right.
They go on holidays for 2 weeks before Christmas and 5 weeks after. We're still fine. We're still breathing.
There's what was the other question? I had a question about it. Yeah, so you got all these things. When you peg a lease, is it up to you how much space that is, or is there a designated amount of land?
You go through a process of you go and peg the lease. So you've got to get all the applications, and then you go out there. You can either normally do it on an EPM. So you apply for an EPM, and then you go out there and you camp there in your caravan, and you go through the ground and you pan and dig and you check for the amount of gold that you might find. You're just looking for colours, and you see whether it's worthwhile to be able to mine. And then you'll find this area that you think,
what colours are you looking for?
Gold.
You can actually see the gold on the ground.
Yeah, so you dig holes and you pan it, and you find colour. Now, it's not big chunks of gold. Everyone thinks,
no,
I should have bought some. It's small granules of sand or little pieces a little bit bigger than sand. It might be 3 mil by 4 mil, or it might be a flat piece, 2 mil long, 1 mil. And so you pan it and you check the colours and the black sand. And then you go, oh, yeah, righto. So mark that. So you have a little GPS or your phone, and you'll walk the creek. You might do a 10 hectare lease, a 40 hectare lease, maybe even a 100 hectare lease on a creek bed or where you think there's gold. And then you go and map it. So you go around and you've got to get a differential GPS now. And so you hire those. If you buy one, it's about 15, 20, 30 grand. And you put like pegs that don't exist. It's like Pokemon, I suppose. You go around and you Pokemon your pegs. And then you put all that onto a database. Another head above me, so I got someone to do that too. And then they send that off to the mines department, and then the mines department send that to native title and land councils and everyone, and then it gets advertised in the paper, and then everyone comes back and attacks you and says you're ruining Australia, you're a miner, you're dirty, you're disgusting, we hate you, we're going to kill you. You get all the fan mail. And then what happens once you've got sick of all your fans screaming at you on their electric devices and emails and telephone run by
the gold that you're digging out of the ground.
Yeah. Once your fans are finished, then you're on the process. You've only got about 6 years to go of more fan mail saying that you're a dirty miner, and finally you get there. Finally, after no pay, no income for 7 years, you start digging holes.
Because Trina here, we stayed with her when we were down in Penong, and last year they found a 9.5 gram nugget, which was worth about $1,400. What are some of the biggest finds you've had in your time? We're alluvial gold miners, so we don't catch nuggets. We could lose nuggets worth, who knows? But see, this area here, back in the day, was mined by the Chinese heavily. So most of the larger nuggets is all gone. So if you look up the Palmer River history, or anyone wants to really support the bush, get to the Palmer River Roadhouse. There's a free museum there. All you got to do is buy an old pie or something off them, and they'll let you in. And you can go and have a look at some of the history, and most of the history from up here, and there's some books that are really well written about. Actually, the guy that you interviewed
last night, he was talking about how the Aboriginals used to kill the miners back in the day and use them for tucker. And people deny all that, but there's books and there's photos that haven't been removed from our libraries, and some of it comes from the French libraries on how these people never got along, and the fact that all our Aboriginals back in the day were 4 foot high, and so were the Chinamen, so they were about the same height. If I had walked up to them, they would have come up to me, sort of me navel, you know. But I'm lucky I wasn't back in those days, because they were chucking spears at each other, and I'm just catching bullets. But yeah, they used to mine with wooden planks, and they used to set up
Wow.
mini battery systems. And a mini battery system would be breaking rocks up with other harder rocks to find the gold inside. But they were only really finding bigger gold. They
Yeah.
weren't set up for alluvial. So as times progressed, to find the gold now, we've got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to have better technique, efficient machinery, and find the alluvial gold. We're not out here with a metal detector for 4 weeks to find a small nugget worth $30. We're
Yeah.
out here to be able to make a living. This is what I do for a living, and hopefully shortly it's going to start paying off. I'm just lucky that I've always been a hands-on person. I worked, actually, I used to milk cows morning and night, and I'd get on the school bus and then get off the school bus, and I bought my first car with cash. So I've always been a hands-on worker, shithouse at spelling, shithouse at writing. Those people on the computers at the other end, they can go and get, and I don't care if they think that I'm shit at spelling and writing and they laugh at me. They got to ring me to change their fucking car tires, eh?
Can I ask though, with the Chinese there, that must be an extraordinary time. What year are you talking? 1930s,
Oh,
19?
yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly in the years. I'll make a tick of myself, and I'll just get
No,
that
that's all
fan
right.
mail if I put the wrong date on it.
Yeah,
But
that's okay.
it was a long time ago, and I'd say, yeah, Maytown, Palmer River, Laura, um, that sort of area was really big in the gold rush days. So was Ballarat. I worked in Bendigo underground there at Kangaroo Flat.
Yeah.
I've been in up around Echuca. So I've done gold mining for a little while. And frig Bendigo, it's too bloody cold. Um, but but but
You don't
yeah,
mind the
so
heat?
it's 40 to, well, at the minute it just was raining a second ago. I don't know if you noticed, there was only a little bit of rain,
Yeah, I saw.
but it's about 36 degrees probably here today, and it's bloody beautiful. Wouldn't be anywhere else, eh?
Do you know the really interesting thing is, and this is quite sad, really. It's almost like you're a fringe dwelling larrikin, because the one thing that's been lost in Australia is our larrikins. They're hard to find now.
They're
And
scared.
literally, yeah, here you are out there, because they can't exist. They can't speak freely. They can't joke around. They can't take the piss out of anything. They're shamed, basically. And so here you are, way out in the bush, literally like keeping our larrikin spirit alive. Because
Well,
yeah,
well, I'm not alone. I've got me pussy. Most men always with their pussy everywhere they go, and I've been that way for a while, so I don't see a problem with it. Do you?
and for those who have just spat coffee all over their phones, which is only working because Jason here dug up the gold, is the pussy. What's the name of this cat?
Louis. Louis
Now,
is my pussy.
when I was up in Cairns, I met a woman. She had a cat, and she called me up about a week later after we left and said a big python, it had gone missing, and what she found was a python with a huge cat-like shape in it. How do you keep your cat away from being eaten by stuff up
Oh,
there?
Louis doesn't stray far. All ragdolls a bit of indoor. I never bought the cat. When I
Oh,
was in Cairns, I used to rent rooms out in my house in Cairns, and another fella there, he said, "Can I get a cat?" I said, "It's up to you. You can do what you like." I said, "But cats live a bloody long time, hey?" He goes, "Oh yeah, it's all right." From day one, that pussy was beside me every minute that I was at home, hey? And when he left, he said, "You can have me pussy." So Jason and the pussy.
And the crocodiles.
Yeah, well, I keep me pussy away from crocodiles. You don't want your pussy getting snapped at.
Now, any idea who's shooting at you? For those who are just coming in, Jason's living way up in Cooktown. He's on a mining lease, and he was getting shot at recently 4 times. Any
I'm a long
idea
way
who's
from
doing it?
Cooktown, but yeah, I'm
Oh, how
I'm
far are
I'm
you
on.
away from Cooktown? How far away?
It's about I'm closer to Laura.
Laura. Okay.
Yeah, you know where the Laura Aboriginal Festival is? A lot of
No.
people know about that. It's not on this year, but we call it the Cockroach Festival because they all dance around like
Cooktown.
it's. Hey,
I know Cooktown. So
yep.
You're above Cooktown?
No. I'm further towards. When you get to Lakeland, there's a T intersection there, and you go to Laura.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So I turn on. I can, because this property's so big. It pretty much goes from the Palmer River, Maytown to Laura, because it's 146,000 hectares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that 1874. Thanks, Carolyn. Carolyn has just done a Google search. So in 1874, the Chinese miners were. Can you imagine the history of that being up there?
Well,
No
I can't work out what they ate because there's no
Yeah.
supermarkets, there's no fridge, there's no storage, and there was hundreds of thousands of them crawling all over. And that's why I call them cockroaches, because they were just everywhere. So
Wow.
you see an infestation of something, and these people, there's photos there, and they were beside each other, like all mining. And I don't know whether they were getting paid or they were under the knife or bullet or slaves. I don't know, because I wasn't
Yeah.
there. But just what I can read, it would have been different back then. But I don't know. I'm starting to feel like time's catching up, getting shot at.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to bring up what we're doing here. I just want to show this because this is just so funny. Hold on. Let me get it. Where was it? Here it is. Here it is. Okay, so let me get this here. Yeah. Okay, so get it here. So I'm going to do a share screen because I realized Kanye West's girlfriend was naked the other day. So you're all in at the Oscars. So you're all in a mood for seeing some pussy. So let's show. So here you go. So this is one of the river crossings he has to do. I'll just make it bigger. And watch this. This is just great.
There's Louie.
I love the fact that he's just sitting on your shoulder.
He goes everywhere on my shoulder. Doesn't touch terra firma much, old pussy.
So this is where Jason's gone bush. Have you actually got a like a podcast or something going of yourself?
No one's ever seen that. I've made a few little films. I'm not on social media. I used to have Bookface years ago, but it bored shit out of me. I don't watch what other people do. I make history.
Yeah, no, I actually think it's a really interesting thing.
There's
I
another
think
one
it'd be a
there that's
really
worth
interesting
looking
podcast.
at. There's another one there that of why I built that road to bring the shipping containers in on a truck.
Oh,
And
okay. Yep. So that's
and
yep. Okay, I'll bring it up.
no one's ever seen these. I've never put them on social media. It's just
Okay,
something
here we
that
go.
I've fart
So
asked around with.
this is another one here. We'll do a share screen. This is great. So no one's ever seen this before. Here we go. Let's get it up. So I'll just bring down the music a bit. Okay, so tell us what we're looking at here.
So I made this one for the truck driver. So I sent it to him because he said, "Oh, this is amazing. You've made all these roads just to get these shipping containers in. I'd love to film something like this." So I put the drone up. I downloaded some poxy fucking thing on the computer, on the tablet, and learn how to drive it. And I made these 2 films. It's the first 2 that I've ever made, and I don't know if they're shithouse or not, but you be the judge.
Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. So this is building a road in the bush.
Well, no, the last one was building the road. This is why I built the 17-kilometre road.
Okay, yep, cool. Wow. Wow. Wow, man. Who built the road in the first place? You?
I had to put it there to get all our shit to site.
How long did it take you to build a road?
Couple of days.
Wow, man. What
You'll
you
see you'll see my mine site in a second here.
Are you actually towing him out? Wow.
Yeah, they get dry bogged.
On dry block because the wheels go dry, it just wheel spins.
Yeah, it's so steep.
Yeah, we had that happen with the bus the other day.
That's the mine site.
Wow. Look at that country, man. And is that the river or a dam that you built?
No, I put that there so I could have a tub.
So you put it there, why?
So I could have a wash. I mean, in cities, they turn the fucking tap on. Out here, I got to build a bloody... that's actually called Louis Lagoon.
Louis Lagoon.
And that's where I pump my house water up so I can have a bit of a wash, eh?
Yeah. Amazing. And but do the crocodiles use that too?
Yeah, they get in there.
Okay, so what are these other videos we got here before we go? We got one with the police.
Yeah, there's one there showing the dead horse and the police in the background.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's a YouTube video that actually shows the plant working and the pump that pumps the water to the plant and loading the plant and how the gold's made.
All right, we'll do
gold
that one
produced.
next. This one's only a few seconds.
Here we are, guys. We're on Bonnie Glen Station.
So this was after the shooting.
Yep. Here we are, guys. We're on Bonnie Glen Station. It's the 27th of January 2025. We're here with Vic, 3 officers from the Queensland Police, and we've got a horse gut shot probably within the last day from trespassers on Bonnie Glen Station and on mine leases here in Cape York.
And that was your mate, that horse?
Yeah, that was old Bungie, and Bungie had a foal at foot, yeah.
Okay, got another one here. Hold on. I got one more. I just want to play it, see if it comes through. Hold on. I'll just do one more. It's just a bit of fucking around. Here we go. So what's this one?
What is it? I don't know. I can't see it. Oh, that was this morning. That's what's left of old Bungie. So here we are. It's Tuesday, the 4th of February. Yesterday would have been a week from the shooting. And this is what's left of my horse, Bungie.
Oh, my God.
I know that's not very nice look, but Bungie was gut shot down on the actual right next to camp. And being gut shot down there, Bungie has run all the way up here, and this is where Bungie's last day was. That's what the dingoes and the pigs do. And some of these poachers, what they do is they trespass onto Bonnie Glen Station here. They'll gut shoot people's cattle, bulls, horses, so that they're in pain and they make noise, which attracts the dingoes and the pigs. And then what happens is the poachers come back in the next day, whenever it is, and yeah, another kill zone. And then they get the head and the tusks off the boar, and yeah, that's what they do. So they're either poaching for gold, which they're not allowed to do, metal detecting, and when they go metal detecting, they burn the ground. And when they burn the ground, that sets fire to all of us, and we've got to get out and cut fire breaks. When there's a fire out here, you don't have a whole heap of people walking around in uniforms on two.
What do you mean they burn the ground?
So what happens is because the long grass is, they can't swing their metal detectors. So they come out and they set fire to people's farms, and it burns hundreds of thousands of hectares. And then they come back and metal detect, but in that they've burnt out all the natural fauna, and it just makes a disaster. And it puts us at risk too, because people have got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of machinery. And these poachers don't know that's there. It's like these guys that shot at me the other day. I don't think they knew that they were right beside a mine camp, because these rivers go up and down, and they were walking in the river with no water in it. And I think they didn't know that I was there, but when they worked out there's someone else there, they probably thought that I'm armed and I'm going to go after them. So they shot at me first so they could make a run. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that when they're poaching and the grass is long, when they're going on people's leases and trying to find gold themselves, they light the ground up.
Yeah.
And I've been to so many fires in the last 2 years using machinery. Like the cutting edge for the loader is $2,500, $2,700, and it uses 600 litres diesel a day.
Fuck. How much a day?
600 litres a day.
So how do you? I'll just finish watching this, but how?
Two-way radios on computers to put fires out. You have people with graders, dozers, big loaders cutting fire breaks and then burning back off those breaks into the fire. That's how you put fires out up here, and then you follow up and cut any trees down where you put the break afterwards and fall them into the fire so that nothing can burn up and cross your fire line. That's what we do. And it's all from trespassers, poachers, and just crooks. So yeah.
I got to ask this because I know that people will be asking. How about first off question, how do you get that much diesel to your property? Do you have to have trucks bringing in, like you have to have a huge diesel tank there? That's a huge amount of diesel.
I've got diesel tanks. And we either go and pick it up out of Lakeland. We're just getting more established at the minute. So we'll end up with maybe a 10,000 litre tank on site. But we haven't done that yet because we've just got a few thousand litres at the minute. But we don't work all day. We haven't been working all day, But the thing is that's our other major problem. That's why I'm here all year, because what's happened on other mine camps is their machinery's been shot up. So all the glass has been shot out of the cabins of their machinery.
Yeah.
And
while he's frozen, hopefully he comes back. Look at this. Year 8 education. Yet this bloke can run a mining operation, build a road that a semi can negotiate with little help in a creek crossing, operate and maintain his mining equipment, build his own dam, operate modern communication equipment, a drone, and goodness knows what else. Yet I bet his city-based critics couldn't boil water in that electric kettle. That's the truth. That's just extraordinary. So what this Jason guy has is the DNA of our ancestors who built this country. That's what he's got. He just gets out there and does it. And just Hopefully he gets back. We'll just give him a few minutes because I just want to say goodbye to the guy. But yeah, that's yeah. He called me up yesterday or sent me this incredible email, and I just thought, my God, this guy sounds so amazing. So yeah, let's see if he gets back on. Just give him a few minutes. Tonight we have the Cardi Girls on. The Cardi Girls have a woman who wants to talk about vaccinating pets, and she's an anti-pet vaccinator, anti-vax pet something. So so there's a conversation, and then of course the fabulous What the F Boys are on after that. So yeah. Yeah, that's right, Ron. You know, it's good to see from you, Ron. I don't know where you are at the moment. We're heading up. We'll be in Port Macquarie on March the 8th. There's an 8:32 muster on the 8th, which is my birthday. Not that I need any more of them. And so we're heading for there. We're slowly going to be waking our way up. Yeah, me too, Yvonne. It's been amazing. It's been exhilarating. You know, you almost get excited just listening to it. So I'm just waiting to see. I'll just give him a text, see if he's coming back on. Hold on. 26. Where is he? Here he is. Have we lost you? This guy could have his own reality show. You know, like Miners in the Outback. That could. Oh, here he is.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I just want to read this out though. This is from.
Hang on, I'm facing the wrong way. How do I do that?
You got to switch there's a little roundy thing on your iPhone and your iPad to make you turn around. It's
Where?
it should be have a look down somewhere. There's a it's like two opposing arrows, like yin and yang. It's to switch it around. Or just keep pressing everything until something happens. While you're doing that, I'm going to read this out from Kate. She says you've had a year 8 education, yet this bloke can run a mining operation, build a road that a semi can negotiate with a little help in a creek crossing, operate and maintain his mining equipment, build his own dam, operate modern comms equipment, a drone, and goodness knows what else. Yet I bet his city-based critics couldn't boil water without the electric kettle. That's the truth. It's amazing. Now, have you found it yet?
I'm on an Android. What do I do?
There should be a little sort of icon. I'll see it on my phone, and it's like two arrows in a circle, and that's to turn the camera around. So you've got two cameras on your Android.
Yeah.
One faces away from you. One shoots. One takes an image of you. So you can either turn the whole pad around, or you just got to hit that little emblem, which looks like two arrows. It's there somewhere on the screen.
Bloody hell! What have we got here?
I'm interviewing plants. I just said so plants. What do you think of Jason? You know, you scared of?
Yeah, what a fucking cock up here I got going on. All I've got's mute, stop. Oh, settings, camera facing back, camera facing forward. Where's forward? Front. Yeah, it wasn't what you said, eh?
It is there. It is there. Look, it's there, man.
What do you want? Hide? You want high definition?
I'll show you. Wait on, I'll show you.
Oh, look at that.
I'll show you. Hold on. It's that emblem there.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I had to go into.
It's probably just.
I went into settings. Yeah, I went into settings and swapped some shit around in there. And anyway, boom, away we go. We're back on track. And that was my fault.
Can you imagine the Chinese in 1874 even conceiving of the fact that there are satellites and you've got a way to communicate with satellites so you can talk to me like literally we're next door to each other, and yet you're way in the middle of the bush?
Quite
quite amazing.
Yeah. I remember saying something to my grandfather once when I was in sports medicine and saying he was saying about a player or something. I said, yeah. I said, we've had to send him off to the podiatrist. And Pop said, why? He's not fucking fat. So even back then, all these names and the satellites, and you go back and say that you can talk to someone somewhere else and see them at the same time, they just tell you to fuck off and grow up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and it is really extraordinary. In fact, it'd be life-saving for you because nothing, basically the NBN, we just lost billions on it, pointless, where you can actually reach the whole world from where you are at this
Well,
level of quality.
yeah, I used to have a Thuraya system, and it was good. It was a satellite phone. I now use Starlink, but it's a hell of a lot more expensive. And the Starlink Mini is probably the best thing because it'll work anywhere in any direction on the roam for the Mini. But I've also got things like these little EPIRBs, and they're just in case you get stuck, and they just unfold, go up, you push the button, and a helicopter will come. But after ringing 000 the other day, I've realised that this thing's probably fucking pointless too. There's 000, all the silly bitch on the other end would say to me was, yes, I understand. So you on station, sir? And I said, yes. And she said, so what house you live in and what street it on? I said, it's 146,000 hectare property, love. And you need to send a chopper. Here's the coordinates. Oh, no, sir. We don't take helicopter coordinates. We have to send car. Are you hurt? I said, yes, I've just been shot at. And then she thought I was fucking joking and they hung up.
What?
Well, they didn't do anything else. But then the police from Laura rang, so she must have been playing on a conscience and said maybe this fucking fella was serious. So the Laura coppers rung me, who's relieving from Brisbane, that doesn't know the difference between a fucking cow and a bull. And he said on the phone, he said, so where are you? I said, I'm on mine lease ML 100-109, mate. And he goes, where's that? And I said, well, this is fucking useless, isn't it? I said, where are you from? He said, Brisbane. I said, no, I'm in fucking North Queensland. And he said, no, I'm relieving in Laura. I said, how are you going to find me? He said, that's why I'm ringing you. So I got the next door neighbour, old Vic, in his telly to run up to the highway. Took the bastard 3 hours to get there in the police car, then another fucking 40 minutes to get to me. If I'd have been shot laying on the fucking ground, they didn't send a chopper, I'd be carked it. I'd be like that fucking horse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You'd be like the horse.
I'd be
Yeah,
fucking pig eaten, and I'd have the pigs would have got the best of me, and the only thing would have been left would have been me pussy in the caravan.
Are you scared at all when you're there? Now that you've been
Oh, I
shot at?
don't get scared easy. I don't get scared easy. I just get pissed off with incompetence from dickheads that wear uniforms sometimes. Like, I got a lot of respect for a lot of people in uniform, but I respect people, not what they wear. I don't,
Yeah,
I've always said, when you go to the mechanics, you go into the mechanics and he's wearing fucking medals and says, oh, I can fix a car. And it's like, you've got to earn your medals. These days, I mean, the old war vets, they earned their medals. These days, these bastards fall uphill.
yeah,
It's rotten the way the system is. And I've always said, we don't need more police, we need better police. We
yeah.
don't need more government, we need better government. You don't fix things by pouring money on it.
No.
You fix things with common sense and good people. And unfortunately, the good people aren't in the government because they can't put up with the bullshit.
Yeah, that's right.
You need people with common sense that understand that have cleaned the dunnies before. I don't think you should be allowed to work in Parliament House until you fucking clean the dunnies for 2 months. That'd sort them out.
Get some
And
grounding
I'm
to
not
you.
disrespecting the people that are cleaning the dunnies. I was involved in a hotel for ages and we couldn't afford people to come in and clean. So I used to clean the whole place after I finished at night in a fucking drunken
Yeah.
stupor. But the whole thing is the so-called clever people that are good at the internet and all this bullshit are telling us what to do when we know what to do. They're making it hard. They're putting up the traffic lights at every corner when we know we can just fucking give way. I
Yeah.
mean, common sense has got to be there.
Well, that must be hard for you when you finally get to a town, even dealing with things like traffic lights. I know when I
Oh,
drive
no,
across
that's
the
all right.
Nullarbor, when I hit
No,
Ceduna,
yeah,
when I hit
going to town
Ceduna,
for
they've
me
got a
is
red
quite,
light. It usually throws you, you go, oh, what's that? Oh, it's a traffic light. Yeah, because you haven't
yeah,
seen one for
no,
2
that
days.
doesn't bother me. I actually cause accidents when I go into town, Michael, more than likely, and it's not from bad driving. I pull up at the fucking traffic lights, and old Louis, me pussy, jumps up on the fucking chair and looks out the window, and people go, "There's a fucking cat in the car," and they piss themselves laughing and go through a red light. I don't know how many accidents my pussy's going to cause before he learns to fucking stay down in town.
The amount of transgender shit that could come out of that.
I don't know about other people, but I try and keep my pussy low when I go to town because, yeah, pussies cause accidents too, eh?
Yeah, they do. They do. There's on a day, just to finish though, on a day like today, how long would you work for during the day? I mean, do you work till sun up or
I'll do
sundown? I
fuck
mean,
all today. No, there's nothing. I'm locked in here. I'm in here for a good sort of 2 months, Michael, and I'm fucked. I
so
can't
you
get
got
out.
2 months stuck like that with the water,
Yeah, yep, least.
at least.
Yep.
Wow. And when the river dries, how long does it take to reduce down to where you can go across? Would that take a couple of weeks, or you just wake up one morning the river's
Oh, you just notice
passable?
it going down. It takes a while to go down. Yeah, I've got another couple of ways that I could probably cut a track if I had to get out here, but yeah, I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need outside. I'm quite happy in here. I'm quite
How
happy
about
where I am. No fucking
mozzies?
idiots can get near me.
How about mozzies?
No, they
Mosquitoes?
don't bother me. Yeah, they bite me and die.
It's amazing, man. So you've got 2 months stuck there now by yourself.
Yep. Oh no, I'm not by myself. Me pussy. I'll give him a scratch now and again.
Now, the last thing is what I'm asking, because a lot of people will want to ask that. What about women? Would you be interested in a woman up there joining you?
Oh, now and then you get a few old tarts chasing you, but no, I stay away from them. I'm trying to
I
gold mine at the minute,
so
and
you're not
yeah.
really interested. You're not on the hunt for love.
Oh, I was a bit of a rooster in my day. I've been around. I've had my fair share. Um, I've experienced the world in more ways than ones, and I'm quite happy what I'm doing now. Yeah, I'm loving life. I've got nothing against anyone, but I'm my focus at the minute is I wanted to go gold mining for myself, and that's my big focus. And you wouldn't get a woman. I don't know. It'd be very hard to get anyone to stay out here because it is a different life, and you've got to be good at everything. You've got to be able to take the swivel hubs out of your car and repatch them. You've got to do everything. I've got alternators, starter motors, car parts. I've got parts for all the machines. When something breaks, I've got to fucking fix it. I can't just, I'm not a Google Bert. I don't get on the internet to work out how to do shit. I work it out myself or completely fuck it up and then ask for help. But yeah, that's what I do. You
It's
work it
just
out for
interesting.
yourself.
I just want to put a question out while watching, because I've got quite a lot of people watching. Are there any women watching now who'd be interested in this sort of life? I mean, you're leaving everything. You're leaving your kitchen, your dishwasher,
Yeah,
you're
none of that
leaving your
shit.
pool, you're leaving your vacuum cleaner to live out there in the bush, isolated from society for 2 months. Crocodiles in the water who might want to give you a nip. So, it'd be interesting to see how many would
And
be in. You know what I
we've,
mean?
we've also got marsh flies, and those little
Oh, I
fuckers
hate
are
those
as big as
bastards.
they're as big as fucking Qantas planes. You can hear the bastards coming for you, and you can see the fucking rego numbers under the bastards, hey? and they come in and they fuck Jesus little. Oh, they're one of my little pet hates. Those bastards.
Yeah, they're bastards. I know they're bastards. Huge thing. There's anything else? I was wondering, would you be interested in doing like a fortnightly update while you're stuck there just to see how you're going? Because I think there's a lot of people love the fact that they're talking to an Australian that is somewhere where they will probably never go. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, look, they're
yeah.
already saying they would love it.
Now I've got this fucking Starlink. I may as well get use out of it because it costs $200 a month. It's fucking huge
Yeah.
amount of money. But
Yeah, I pay the
and I
same.
make
It's a lot of money.
I've got a lot of videos and stuff that I've done, but I've never put anything out because it's like that All for Adventure 4-wheel drive show. They come up here once and yeah, they were asking to come on, but I didn't really. Yeah, it wasn't my thing, you know. I just stick to myself and do my own shit. And sometimes you watch some of these TV shows and you think, no, that's not how it fucking happens. What are these idiots talking about? But it's all made for TV, hey. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
actually real. It's oh, there's a fucking crocodile. It's like, it won't hurt you, mate. Just give it a tap with a stick. It'll fuck off.
Just give it a tap with a stick and it'll fuck off. That's the t-shirt. Crocodile. Don't worry. Give it a tap with a stick, it'll piss off. Fuck off. Yeah, look, I actually think you should. I actually think it's great variety. You know, we've got a Jewish guy, Leon. He talks about Jewish stuff from Balaclava. We've got the Cardi girls. It'd be great to have you out there stuck in the bush being shot at, and you know your horses have been eaten by pigs after being shot. I mean, it's and at some point we get to meet your pussy. Yeah, I mean, it'd be that'd be like looking forward to like season
Well,
finale.
it'd be that'd be really drawing the curtains back, Michael, if I had to expose me pussy live on the old fucking interweb, eh? Would it be the first time on Cafe Locked-Out that someone exposed their pussy on live
A man, yeah.
well, it's a new world. It's a new
It's a
world.
new world. It's a new world. That's it. You're allowed to have one if you want. There's nothing stopping you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone
You
should
probably
have
get a
their
grant.
pussies hanging out for everyone to see, eh?
There's yeah, look, this has been great. I'm gonna let you go. We've got the rest of the day to get up with, but I'll be in touch. But this is stay. Anything happens between here and there, give us a hoy. But apart from that, it's been fantastic. It's been great talking to you. And the people have
Before you
loved it.
go, Michael, I got one thing I want to say, and I want to thank you for everything that you've done in the last years. You've come out of a shithole, and you're doing this. You've helped so many people along the way. There's been a lot of people that I've been watching on Cafe Locked-Out and other shows like this, and it really digs into my heart watching this from outside, and it really frustrates me too. And it's good to be able for those people to vent. You can see the relief when they're talking to someone like you that is understanding and caring and sensible and not a fucking dickhead like all these other people that pretend to help you. You're doing
Yeah.
something that's genuine, and I appreciate it. There's one thing that stuck in my heart not very long ago that I want to say, and that's Kiana. If you're
Yeah.
watching this, Kiana, I was upset with that. I still am now, eh? That's
Oh,
horrible.
sick kids need their mum. You don't need to finish high school to know a sick little boy needs to be with his mother. End of story. And the fact that he's not, and the fact that our government thinks that they can do a better job by putting him in the care of these migrants, it's bullshit. Bullshit.
That hurt
It,
me.
yeah.
That hurt me the most.
Yeah. No, me too. And we're still in contact with them. There's just letting you know that there's like a growing group of women. Kelly's working with them, and they're sort of really getting behind now. So I think there's a lot of people really pissed off about that, and
Yep.
it was hard interview to do. You know what I mean? Because she's just this beautiful, young, strong mother,
No,
and it
I
is
watched both of them.
unacceptable.
I watched yours, and I watched
Hoodies.
yeah. I I was pissing. Hey, I couldn't help myself. It fucking
Yeah.
broke me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just thinking if you are the little boy, and now he's got his little brother with him, so he's got to be strong for him. But he's got cancer himself, and he does have cancer, and so nothing makes sense. Nothing
Are we in
makes
Australia?
sense.
Where are we? Where
Yeah.
are we?
No, I agree.
So thank you, Michael. Thank you
no
so much
worries.
for
I don't
doing
usually
what you
take
do.
compliments, but that was really sweet.
There
There's
is actually a lot more people in the bush that probably watch these programs that you've got no idea exist either. There's so many good people around Australia and around the world that
we are.
watch
You're good
Cafe Locked
people.
Out and shows like this. And I'd personally like to thank you for doing what you do. Absolute fucking legend, Michael.
Oh,
Both
thanks,
thumbs up.
brother. Well, you're a better legend
And your
yourself.
team behind you too. I understand there's probably a heap of people behind you that want to remain under the kitchen sink, but thank you to them too. Hey,
Yeah, and we're a great team of streamers now, from Robin to Oosterhouse to the What the Fuck Boys. It's just growing. It's something good. But I'll let you go. Thanks for that. But I'll be in touch. This is going to be great, man. It's
fucking awesome.
you're actually going back to like something core about us, because when I talk to people about their generations before them, they say how their grandfathers were adventurers. And that's where you are. You're out there. You're being shot at, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And all you've got to defend you is your pussy.
Not many people. Well, I think mums are important, and so's me pussy. Hey.
Take care, Jason. I'll be in touch. Share this, everybody. Let's get Jason back on. This is great. Say it. Don't drown.
Cheers, guys.
Don't get eaten. Don't drown, and don't get eaten by a crocodile. And don't get shot until we have you back on.
But wait, can you hear our children crying? They're calling from all over this land. They're clearing it today.